All right, let's jump right into this explainer. We hear the term third eye thrown around a lot in pop culture, right? It's usually wrapped up in all this mystical jargon. But what if I told you that this ancient concept is actually a highly practical, tangible tool? We're talking biologically and spiritually. It's literally a mechanism for transforming our chaotic, modern lives into a state of piercing clarity. Today, we're unpacking the whole story of the third eye. We're going to trace it from an absolutely epic ancient myth straight into the very real, very modern biology that is sitting right inside your own head. So, what if you could actually see beyond the physical world? Just imagine for a second, cutting through all that constant noise, the endless notifications, the low-level anxiety we all deal with daily, and instead, accessing a hidden underlying truth. What if I told you a deep, completely unshakable intuition is already lying dormant within your own mind, just waiting to be switched on? From the Egyptian Eye of Horus to ancient Buddhist texts, this center of higher perception has been revered as the ultimate key to reality itself. But to truly harness it, we've got to understand what it actually is. To get to the bottom of this dormant power, we have to start with the myth, specifically the illusion of desire. Okay, so according to Hindu legend, the great god Shiva had suffered this unimaginable loss, right? And he withdrew into an unbreakable, universe-shaking meditation of pure grief. He was completely checked out. Meanwhile, the universe was in massive trouble, threatened by a powerful demon. So desperate to wake Shiva up, the god sent in Kamadeva. Now, Kamadeva is the god of love and desire. Picture a guy armed with a sugarcane bow, shooting arrows tipped with springtime flowers. His one job? Shoot an arrow of desire straight into Shiva's heart, to make him fall in love again. So Kamadeva creeps up, takes aim, and boom, the arrow strikes. For a split second, Shiva's absolute focus actually wavers. But, as it turns out, disturbing a god of Shiva's magnitude while he's in deep meditation, yeah, that was a fatal mistake.
The texts say that in a massive surge of divine energy, Shiva's third eye snapped open, and in a literal instant, Kamadeva was turned to pure ash. Now, this explosion of consciousness wasn't just some random act of petty anger. It was the ultimate, absolute destruction of illusion, ego, and external distraction. Shiva didn't just obliterate a god, he destroyed the very idea that our happiness or fulfillment comes from lust, compulsive desires, or anything in the outside world. The fire blasting from his third eye was quite literally the fire of deep, piercing insight. And that perfectly illustrates the difference between our normal sight and this higher perception. Our two physical eyes, they're built to see the outside world, objects, forms, appearances, and, let's be honest, illusions. But the third eye, it looks inward. It's the eye of wisdom. It doesn't look at things. It looks directly into the reality of the universe. It allows you to see situations not for the superficial layer they present, but for what they truly are at their core. But let's pivot from myth to physical reality and look at the actual science behind the biological third eye. Here is where it gets incredibly fascinating. This mystical Ajna chakra, which ancient yogis said was perfectly located right between our eyebrows as the command center for intuition, well, it directly mirrors the actual biological functions of a tiny organ deep inside our brains. Think about it. The spiritual visions and the inner fire that sages talked about thousands of years ago, they align perfectly with modern science's understanding of the pineal gland, from how it regulates our circadian rhythms to its potential to produce some incredibly powerful chemical compounds. So, what exactly is this biological third eye? Well, the pineal gland is this tiny, pine cone-shaped endocrine gland nestled right near the geometric center of your skull. Now, it's pretty famous for producing melatonin, which is what regulates our sleep and wake cycles. But here is the wild part. Unlike the rest of your brain, the pineal gland is not isolated by the blood-brain barrier. It gets to interact directly with your bloodstream. And get this, it actually contains cells called pinealocytes that are incredibly similar to the photoreceptors found in the retinas of your physical eyes. Oh, and it doesn't stop there. It also contains these microscopic calcite crystals with piezoelectric properties. That means when they're subjected to mechanical pressure, they can literally generate small electrical currents. How crazy is that? And the rabbit hole goes even deeper. Researchers have found that the pineal gland is associated with DMT, or dimethyltryptamine. If you aren't familiar, DMT is a naturally occurring psychedelic compound. People often call it the spirit molecule. Interestingly enough, it has a chemical structure that's strikingly similar to serotonin, which regulates our mood. Science actually suggests that the pineal gland might release significant hits of DMT during massive, extraordinary life events. We're talking birth, near-death experiences, or states of incredibly deep meditation. This literally provides a hard, biological basis for the transcendent spiritual insights and feelings of unity that mystics have been reporting for millennia.
Okay, so we know the hardware is installed in our brains. Now, how do we turn it on? Let's get into the practice of activating this command center.
The absolute best part about all this is that you don't need to go hide in some Himalayan cave to activate it. You can literally do this right now in your living room to silence your own personal modern-day Kamadevas. You know, those endless daily distractions and anxieties. First up, just sit straight so your spine is aligned and take deep, slow breaths to calm your nervous system. Second, gently shift your internal focus to that spot right between your eyebrows. Third, visualize a glowing orb of indigo light. Indigo is the traditional color of the Ajna chakra. Picture it getting brighter with every single inhale, just melting away your mental fog. And finally, you can softly chant the primordial sound Om. And look, this isn't just symbolic woo-woo. The physical vibration of that sound actually helps mechanically stimulate the area around the pineal gland. It's basically biohacking at its absolute oldest.
Let's look at another super practical technique called Trataka. This is a focused gazing practice. It's incredibly simple, but so powerful. You just light a candle, place it right at eye level a few feet away, and stare directly at the flame. The trick is to not blink for as long as you can comfortably handle. Eventually, your eyes will naturally start to water. When they do, close them and shift all your focus to the glowing after image of that flame in your mind's eye, right at the center of your forehead. Trataka uses physical light to dramatically boost your concentration, completely quiet that nonstop chatter in your mind, and really kickstart your inner vision.
So what actually happens when you commit to these practices? That brings us to the transformation, finding true inner vision and clarity.
When you practice consistently, you completely bridge the gap between ancient ritual and your modern daily life. The transformations are incredibly tangible. Opening the third eye isn't just some esoteric party trick. It's unbelievably practical. When that pineal gland and Ajna chakra fire up, your intuition sharpens. Suddenly, really complex decisions start feeling simple because you're tapping into a deep underlying inner knowing. Biologically speaking, thanks to that melatonin regulation, your sleep is going to improve dramatically. Emotionally, the anxiety and the constant mental confusion just start dropping away. You build real resilience and empathy because you finally start seeing the true nature of the people and situations around you. It completely dissolves your internal self-doubt. It's basically a total upgrade for your whole operating system.
Which brings us right back to the wisdom of the ancients. There's a saying, when ego dies, truth is born. When illusion burns, wisdom rises. As you consistently learn to burn away your personal distractions, your fears, and those shallow cravings, exactly like Lord Shiva burns the god of desire to ash, you're going to start seeing every single situation for what it truly is. You end up replacing the illusions of the outside world with the absolute, unshakable wisdom of your inner world.
So, we've covered a lot of ground today. We've explored the epic legends, we've uncovered the mind-blowing neuroscience of the pineal gland, and we've laid out the step-by-step practices to make it happen. Now that you understand the biology and you actually have the practical map to your own inner command center, the only question left to ask is this. Are you ready to open your eye of wisdom? Are you finally prepared to look within? Take a deep breath, focus your attention, and start the journey.